I was on a flight to El Paso from Los Angeles and flying down to do a conference with men in the El Paso Civic Center. And I was on the plane and I was just sitting there, as I often do when I travel, with my Bible open and writing some notes about what I was going to be speaking on. And there was a guy sitting next to me who was obviously Arabic. And, you're kind of squished in on this little 737, and he was looking at me and kept looking at me, and finally got up enough courage, said, "Sir, may I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "Is that a Bible?" And I said, "It is a Bible." He said, "I'm new in America." He said, "I'm from Iran." And he said, "In Iran, everybody is Muslim. But," he said, "over here, I don't understand American religion. May I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And this was his question, verbatim. "Can you please tell me the difference between a Catholic, a Protestant, and a Baptist?" That was his question. I don't know why it fell out that way. So I did. I said, "Sure, I can tell you the difference." And I went through the sort of a little abbreviated history of the Catholic Church and the Reformation and how the issue was salvation by grace through faith alone, through Christ alone, and talked about that and sola scriptura in terms he could understand, and asked him if he understood. He said, "Yeah." And I said, Protestants protested against ceremonial, external, mechanical religion and a surrogate Christ, namely the church, and I went through some of that. And I said Baptists belong to that Protestant group, and they tend to be kind of biblical, and they love the Bible, and they want their Christianity to be practical in life, and I just explained a little of that. And I said, "Now that you've asked me a question, could I ask you a question?" He said, "Sure." I said, "You're Muslim. Do Muslims have sins?" And of course I know they do. I said, "Do Muslims have sins?" He says, "Oh, we have many sins." He says, "We have so many sins, I don't even know all the sins." I said, "Well, could I ask you another question?" He said, "Sure." I said, "Do you commit those sins? Do you do them?" "All the time I do them." He says, "In fact, to be honest, I'm flying to El Paso to do some sins." I said, "You are?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, what kind of sins are you going to do while you're there?" He said, I was immigrating and I met this girl. They immigrate through El Paso, people coming from all around the world. It's a big immigration center. And I met this girl and I'm going and we will sin. It's a pretty honest guy, right? He doesn't even know me. He's giving me the whole deal here. And I said, "Well, I want to ask you another question. How does God feel about your sins?" "Oh, it's very bad," he said. "It's very bad." I said, "What do you mean it's bad?" "It's very bad. God is very unhappy with my sins." And that's, of course, his perspective on Allah. And I said, "Well, what could happen to you?" I could be in some big trouble." I said, "Really? What kind of big trouble?" I said, "Like maybe going to hell forever?" Because Muslims have hell too. He said, "Yeah." I said, "But you're going to go anyway and do this?" "Yeah." I said, "You're in some real difficulty here." I said, "Do you have any hope? Do you have any hope at all?" He said, this is a quote, "I hope the God will forgive me." I said, "On the basis of what? Why would he forgive you? What's so special about you?" "I don't know." I said, Is there anything in Islam that indicates there is salvation for people who willfully sin like you?" He said, "No. I just hope that God will forgive me." And then I said something I didn't really understand how it would affect him because it's so common to us. I said, "Well, I know him personally and he won't." The guy was absolutely shocked. First thing he said to me is, "You know the God personally? Like, what are you doing in Coach? On Southwest in the middle seat. Come on, you know God personally. What are you talking about?" The whole idea of knowing God personally is absolutely bizarre to a Muslim. I said, "I know him personally. He won't forgive you. He won't forgive you. You'll die in your sins, and you'll perish forever in eternal judgment." And he got very sober, and I said, "You want to hear the answer to your problem? I'm here to tell you that there's a way in which all your sins can be forgiven forever." And I had a willing audience. And I unfolded the significance of Jesus Christ and the complete forgiveness of sin that Christ offers. And he was shocked. He said, for the first time I understand the meaning of Christianity.